everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I won't give back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt, they're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt, they're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that.
All right, what is up, Utah fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest. Sorry about the delay getting started tonight, but good to be here with you guys. As you drop in, please make sure that you guys like the video. Also, comment down below. We're going to go over a lot of information tonight and talk a lot about ASU, and I'm excited to do that with you guys. So follow along, and if you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We put out a ton of awesome Utah Utes football content, and I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. We've got Wild Ute in the background, and I'm about to bring him on, but I do want to address something real quick. This is a terrible time to be playing Arizona State. I'm just going to get that out of the way first. Arizona State, as you break it down, is surprisingly good. I think we all knew they were better than they had been made out to be early in the year over these past few games. They have been surprisingly good over the past few games, and this is not going to be a cakewalk. That's not what this breakdown is going to be. And Utah's coming off a tough loss, one where we got beat pretty bad. So it's going to be important that we bring our A game if we want to get this win. Yeah, Arizona State's 2-6. Yeah, Arizona State's like 1-4 or whatever in conference play, but we can't treat them like that's what they are. They are not a pushover of a team. I'm excited to dive in. Let's talk about it. Wild Ute, how are you doing tonight, man?
What's going on? How you doing, Joseph?
Dude, I'm doing good. I don't know how much you've broken down the numbers, but I'd say breaking down the numbers, I wouldn't say scared me is the right word, but I figured it'd be close, but it was even a little closer than I thought. How are you feeling about the matchup off the bat?
Oh man, I can't disagree with you more, Joseph. I think we're absolutely going to pummel Arizona State so freaking bad on Saturday. I can't wait for it. Seriously, like I know this is the thing is that everybody all week's been chatting. That Arizona State's going to give Utah a game, upset Utah. You think that we're going to lose 2 straight games at home? You think that Utah's just been like sitting on their hands all freaking week? After we just got beat. That Oregon game was horrible. Horrible. That Oregon, it was the hardest game I've ever actually since the TCU game back in 2010. Like, and you're telling me like that we're just gonna forget all that stuff, like not really take this game seriously. We're gonna get back on the horse. We are gonna destroy these guys this week. I've a very different take than you. I don't care what the numbers say. I've looked at them a little bit. I do know FPI says that we're gonna have an 88% shot of winning this game. Yeah. And like if you look at their quarterback play, the one thing that scares me the most for an opponent is like a passing quarterback. They don't really have a great passing game, and Badger's a good receiver. We'll get into that. But I'm telling you, like that they're going to take freaking heat out on these guys. I think that we're going to beat them pretty bad.
Hey, I think that's a good take. I think that's one thing I've taken into account, but not as much as I might want to. Greg Hawkins in the chat says he loves your attitude, dude. I like it too. I like it a lot, dude. It's good to have you back on. I think we're going to you make some great points that not only are we playing at home, but we're playing at home coming off a terrible loss. So that's a pretty good sign for Utah fans. Anything you know about the quarterback here? I know you touched on it a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
The ASU quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had like a mixed bag of quarterbacks. Rashad started this year. They've played like 3-4 quarterbacks. I think the last few games they've had the same guy. But if you look at the stats, I can't pronounce his last name. There you go.
Borgo.
Yes, that's it right there. Look at the stat line, Joseph. Like 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, right? If this guy's starting, like his QBR rating, you're into that, the analytics. Don't tell me, stop it. Like, let's be real about things. These guys can run the football with Scatter, right? Yeah. Like Scatterboo. He's a good player. Freaking love that guy. He reminds me of Tim Tebow. I love the guy. That's what they're going to do. They're going to hammer it home. They're going to throw it to Badger, the best receiver. But like, it's not like they're going to test us down the field that much. And they're playing into the Utes defense hands by just running the football. This team's like UCLA, but with a weaker defense. And so I think that the Utes are really going to be clicking on all cylinders, and this is going to start the trajectory of the 4-0 finish for the rest of the season. I know you touched on that, but I seriously think it's going to happen. I know a lot of folks nationally and stuff don't think we have a shot versus Washington the week after. Not overlooking this game, but I'm just saying, like in the future and stuff, everyone's written off this Utes team, and like I'm just saying that don't write off the Pac-12 champs, man. You think the back-to-back Pac-12 champs are going to lose this game to ASU after we just got pummeled by Oregon? Like I just have a hard time believing Kyle Whittingham would let that happen. Like this team's way too experienced. They're champions. They're not going to let this happen. I mean, this ASU is going to play us tough, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a close game.
That's a good point. You're right. This is probably the easiest game out of these next 4 games. So we're going to need to capitalize on this and make sure this is a win. I'm with you. Why don't we you were just touched on this guy, Scatterbo. He has been a hot topic around Pac-12 football lately. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with it, but he is basically just like a blue-collar looking dude, just puts his lunch pail and helmet on and just goes between the tackles and just runs through guys. He is pretty fun to watch. I will say, just like you were saying earlier, we are the champs, and more than that, I think we are the type of team to stop a guy like this. Like this, I don't think he's gonna. I think they've played some not super physical teams lately, and I think it showed in what this guy was able to do. Right, like it says 534 yards in the season. I feel pretty confident that the majority of that is in the last few games. Let's take a look here. All right. Oh, yeah. So 200 and what? 221 of that is in the last 3 games. So Washington, Colorado, Washington State. I'd say if you asked 5 random Pac-12 fans who the 3 least physical teams in the Pac-12 are, I think those would be in the mix quite a bit. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And this guy's like a really fun player to watch. Like you mentioned, though, he's so physical. And he's faster than you'd think. And like I would say honestly, outside of all the U players, he's my most favorite player to watch in the nation. I've watched him play a few times now, and it's like you just want to root for this guy. Like he really does remind me of Tebow. Like
Look
I'm
at that,
serious.
11 yards a carry against Washington State. He basically won them that game. Jeez.
He's such a stud, but like he's gonna get totally shut down on Saturday. And let's get real about this, Joseph. Like how will ASU beat us on like when they're on offense and we're on defense? How will they test us and beat us? What can this team do that Oregon did? Because Bo Nix dissected us with the short passing game, with precision, and with running the football and his leadership and his poise. What is Arizona State? What do they have that they can test us in that way? That's really what. Yeah, exactly. Like Greg Hawkins is right. It's going to go right to Scatterboo, Scatterboo, Scatterboo. And like that's a great plan and stuff. But Utes would do the same thing. Utes kind of do the same thing, but I just don't see ASU scoring many points.
Let's take a look. I actually pulled some data, spent a bit of time. I don't know how valuable it is, but I thought it'd be fun to take a look at it. Basically, what it is I pulled the past few games for ASU and for Utah. And what I did is I took what each team they played averaged over the last 3 games, and I compared that to what ASU has averaged over 3 games. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Okay.
All right. So
these are 3-game averages, right?
Yeah. So this is for Arizona State. What did they average over these 3 games? Yeah. And then the other 3 teams that they actually played, what did those 3 teams average? So I think there's a few good numbers for ASU, and there's a few good numbers in Utah's favor when you look at this. So let's take a look here. I don't know why it's not.
Yeah. Break it down. Tell us exactly kind of what you're seeing here then.
So the one thing I looked at is yards allowed per game. They're not exactly racking up yards. So if it's green, that means it's a good one for ASU. If it's yellow, that means it's okay. And if it's red, it means it's really bad. So I think there's a few good things, a few bad things. So right out the bat, yards allowed per game. Arizona State was only allowing these 3 teams to get 87.9% of the yards they averaged in their other 3 games, which is a good sign for ASU, right? There were some high-powered offenses in here, and for them to be able to do that's pretty good. And I think across the board, what you see here is like you were talking about with Arizona State's offense. What are they going to do? I think the thing that was more revealing to me as I was breaking this down is look how good their defense is, right? Yards per game for the teams, and this is the yards that ASU allowed over these 3 games. This is the points these 3 teams averaged over this game, and this is the points that ASU allowed over these 3 games. So both numbers are more than 10% under the average of those 3 games. But I would say their offense is not looking good because their offense did significantly worse. Decent in yards that they actually got, but in points, it's pretty rough. It's one of the worst numbers we're going to see. I mean, you taking anything from that there, Wild Ute?
Yeah, it seems like they can get some yardage, but they can't score.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Or like maybe they, kicking a lot of field goals, which plays into the Utes' hands because we've got one of the best red zone defenses. Again,
no, I agree, dude. And they're actually not that bad in the red zone. I forget what it was, but I was looking, when you look at Pac-12 play over the course of a year, these are the two bottom offenses in quite a few categories, like in third down conversion percentage, in total first downs. It was a lot, like total yards, total points per game. It was I think we are going to see a defensive slugfest no matter what. And if you love good defensive football, this is going to be a really fun game. But if you don't, you might not have quite as much fun in this game. If you're looking for high-flying offenses, this probably is not the game for you. Let's pull up Utah's 3-game averages. So you check it out here. This is how Utah did against these teams. It's a super similar story, but a little more of dominant defense, and some parts offensively were a little worse. Some parts offensively are a little better. So you take a look here. Utah only allowed these teams to get 80% of the yards they averaged over those 3 games. Points allowed, they only allowed these teams to get 78% of the points. And don't forget, that's including a beatdown against Oregon, right? Oregon ran it into us, and we still, this number looks good. The issue that scares me a little is this number right here. We were at 66% of points per game against what these teams allowed per game, which is a little scary, just because this is going to be a defensive battle, and I don't think we'll see a ton of offense. And I don't love that our numbers look equivalent, if not slightly worse, like here in points per game than ASU's.
I think that, the teams are kind of structured similar without a rising, right? With Barnes in the fold and everything. So really a game like this, you look at records, 2-6 versus a 6-2 Utah.
Yeah. Flipped.
Exactly. Flipped. And then you look at coaching, you look at experience level, and really like the, just the ability to finish games. And I think that a lot of those things, for the numbers really similar across the board that we're seeing, being at home is massive. And we just don't lose home games. What happened last week made no sense. I swear, dude, we had one play that we could even cheer for. At the game, it was one of the most rough game I've been to in over 12 years.
That was rough.
And so I think it's impossible that it's going to be replicated. I just think we're going to see a completely different team. And if the stats are shaking out and they're looking pretty similar, we have better coaching than they do. They've got a 33-year-old Dillingham, who I like, but we have Coach Witt, right? So I would say our coaching, we've got an edge there. I would say we had a better defense. We've got a home field advantage and probably a push on offense. I just don't see us really having too much trouble with this team based on those dynamics. They're not so explosive that they scare you at all. They basically are kind of a poor man's Utah from what I see.
Fair. Yeah, I know there was that clip of Kenny Dillingham that came out today or yesterday that was him talking about how Utah is what I don't know if you saw that. He emulates his program around Utah, so that's pretty cool. And I'm with you, man. I'm with you 100%. I think Utah wins this game, and I'll talk more about my actual prediction later. I know you got to get out of here soon. I would love for you to give, your breakdown of how the game goes and what you think the final score will be.
I think that Utah gets out faster this time. I don't know how fast this U team can necessarily get out. It's not like we're going to blast 21-0 on a team, right? Just based on how we're made. But I think that I could see a 7-10, maybe a 14-point lead for the Utes. And then I think ASU claws back in, but I think Utah has a comfortable margin most of the game, pulls away even more at the end there. And I think that Utah actually wears out physically this ASU team. I think Utah is going to come out motivated. They're going to come out desperate, because we are desperate. It looks like it's a fat chance to get to the Pac-12 championship, right? Just like last year. I don't know. I haven't broken out the actual math on it, but if you had to guess, it's probably 2%, 1%, less than 1%. But that was the case last year, y'all. It was the case going into the last week of the season.
I was saying in the stream last week at the end when we did the recap, I feel like we have a better shot right now than we did week 12 of 2022. There seemed like there was no chance we were getting to the playoff.
It was wonky last
to the
year.
Championship.
And what was the weirdest part last year was it was the games were on the 22nd which was like, Ty Jordan's number and Aaron Lowe's number. There was some weird stuff last year with that. So I don't know. It was almost like fate. This year, like, you got to handle this game. I think that you run the rock. That's what we can do. We gotta open up the passing game, though, man. We gotta get some passing game going on. Like, we have to be less predictable too. I mean, last game was so freaking, the game plan. It was like 3 and outs, like the things that we'd seen versus Oregon State. It's just so painful to watch that offensively. So you have to open up the passing game. You have to take some risks. I mean, Barnes, I think he'll play better, not quite as good a defense. I think this team's going to be focused. I think they pull away and win a 31-17 football game. 31-17 Utah ASU. So
yeah,
I think they beat the spread barely, but I think that you're going to have a comfortable margin throughout the whole thing. I don't think ASU gets up on you 14 or 21 points or anything where you're coming back like last week. They just don't have the horses to do it. And like this, we need this game. I mean, this game's so critical and stuff for the momentum for the rest of the season. And plus, set the tone for next season, because ASU is going to be a common opponent. We're playing them, going forward 3 of the next 4 years in the Big 12 schedule and stuff. So with Dillingham there, it's time to set the tone that we're not going to, roll over on you guys, and we're going to have physical you, just like every other Big 12 team.
Yeah, wow. What are we? 3 of our last 4 games are our future Big 12 opponents, huh?
Right. Yeah,
that's fun. I didn't even realize that until you just brought up that this is a Big 12 opponent. That's really exciting. Yeah, set the tone. Yeah, if there's 3 games that are obviously want to beat Washington, but these would be 3 fun ones heading into next year. Speaking of next year, I don't know if you've seen that schedule, but it looks very exciting. Yeah,
I love it. And and I feel bad for some of our Big 12 friends, like especially our West Virginia friends, because they're just ticked off because they got totally housed on the schedule. They're traveling like west a bunch. We're only going east to UCF like next year once, and everything else is pretty close. We've got a great schedule, bringing TCU back on, playing them 3 out of 4 years. BYU every year. We're going to crush the little brother. I got my classless T-shirt right on here. I had this game. This was actually like about a 15-year-old shirt right here that I used to have back in the day. I don't even. Were you a Ute fan when Max Hall called the Utes classless?
No, but I'm familiar with
look
it.
At the old videos and stuff. Yeah. So there's some bad blood over there from many different things, but we're gonna crush those guys so bad. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, and these other teams and stuff, they got to set the tone versus CU, ASU, and U of A. U of A is going to be a tough game coming up, but I think for ASU, out physical them, out coach them, home field advantage, comfortable win.
Dude, awesome, man. Anything you want to say before you get out of here, Wild Ute?
Nope, just make sure that we come out hot. Really, I'll be there rooting on the Utes like usual and stuff. So hoping to be a little bit better mood after the game. Last week I was pretty torn up.
I think you will be, man. Like you said, ESPN's got us like 88% chance to win this game. So awesome having you on, man. Cool. Hey, have a great night, and thanks so much for joining.
Go Utes.
Go Utes. That was awesome to have Wild Ute on. He's an awesome guy. If you guys don't follow him, it's at Wild Ute. Super cool guy. Love talking to him. Love having him on. We got a bunch of awesome guys here that contribute content for the show and join the live stream. So make sure you guys like the video. It'll help get it out to more fans, and comment down below as we go through these different topics what you think. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We're putting out a ton of content, and share the video with a friend. Come on, guys. Let's have some fun here. Okay. I'm going to bring up these numbers again, and I just want to show it to you guys. I want to bring them up, but I also actually, you know what? Let's bring them up. Let's bring them back up. And then after I bring them up and look at them. So I think one thing you see about Utah, and it's one thing that does happen from time to time, with a team like Oregon, they were well coached, and from my takeaway, they had a lot more talent in their team. Not actually like players that could play football, but when you're talking about blue chip prospects, 4 or 5-star players, I felt like it was clear, and it started to show, because it didn't feel like there was adjustments we could make in this game to get back in it. It felt like when we played Oregon, it was a rough go. And the reason I bring all this up is not that Arizona State is devoid of talent, but Arizona State is not bringing the type of talent that Oregon brings. Arizona State is a solid team. They're not terrible. If anyone thinks they're terrible, look at these numbers, guys. They beat Washington State. They kept it close against Washington, and they kept it close against Colorado. This will not be a pushover of a team. I think they're a good crew. They're going to bring a lot to the table, and they are hungry. They have nothing to lose. We have everything to lose, and they are going to come at us. And if we don't come into the game with the right mindset and the right game plan and the players looking to punch these guys in the mouth, it is not a give me game. I just want to be clear, guys. The Pac-12 this year is wildly good. Like when you consider the Arizona State's at the bottom of the Pac-12, it should tell you all you need to know. And Arizona State, guys, over the past few games is not the Arizona State of old. They've really looked revamped, and they really look a good chunk better. I know Wild Ute was talking about their passing attack, but just so you guys know, their passing attack over the past 3 games has actually been pretty good. Let me just tell you the exact number. I don't have it written down, but I do want to let you guys know. So Arizona State, over the past 3 games, they're averaging 268.3 passing yards per game. And where would that put them? So 268.3 passing yards per game. It's a little above average in college football. And look at the teams they played. Now, those aren't amazing defenses, but still, these aren't I guess Washington State and Colorado aren't very good defenses, but Washington's a pretty good defense. I mean, they only scored 7 points against Washington, but it is what it is. Here's the deal, guys. Let's go ahead and close out this window. I do just want to give you guys my prediction. So here is how I feel the final score and how the game goes for Arizona State coming to Rice Eccles to take on Utah. I think we will see a tight game early with what we're seeing in the numbers. We should see a tight game early where Arizona State and Utah are both struggling to move the ball against the other team. I could see one of the 2 teams with an early, quick, big play sort of touchdown as the 2 teams adjust. But either way, 7-3, 7-0 early until we get deeper in the game. As we get deeper in the game, I think Utah's discipline, physicality, and just experience being in games that really matter will start to pay off, and Utah will start to open up some big plays, right? Utah knows what this means, and we are pissed, like Wild Ute said. We do not want to lose at Rice Eccles. We are going to come into this game, and we are going to do everything we can to win. The home crowd, you know how we are, guys. We are not a lackadaisical pushover home crowd. We are going to be in the stands. We are going to be loud, and we are going to shake ASU's quarterback. I guarantee you they're not throwing for over 270 yards on this defense. We're going to come at them. We're going to get loud. It's going to get ruckus. I don't think this offense is going to put up a lot of points for Utah. I also don't think the Arizona State offense is going to do much against an awesome Utah defense. I do think that where the Utah defense can be exposed is the passing games at times, but I don't think they'll have a ton of success. I'm thinking as the game goes down, Utah will pull ahead a little bit, and then we will slowly just brutalize them with the run game, and we'll see a really good job by Jaquindon Jackson and Sione Vaki, and we will slowly pound them into submission. My prediction for this game is going to be 21-13. Utah wins it at home. I know that's closer than a lot of people might think, but I do believe that's what's going to happen. They're not a bad team, guys. ASU is not a bad team, so don't think we're going to dominate them. I could also see a scenario where Utah comes into this game with their hair on fire and we see a super explosive offense. But just to reference the numbers again, guys, this team has not been scored on a lot over these past few games. Their points allowed per game against 3 pretty high-flying offenses in Washington State, Washington, and Colorado is only 23 points allowed per game, guys. That's pretty low for those 3 teams. So if you're expecting Utah to come in here and light up the scoreboard, I think you might be disappointed. I think Utah is going to fight hard, and we're going to show that we are clearly the better team. But this is not going to be an easy game. This Arizona State team has really proven they're a good team over these past few weeks, or at least a decent team. And I think Utah will have some hiccups here and there, but overall win the game 21-13. I just don't think their offense will do enough against our defense to win them the game. I think our offense will do just enough, and our defense will come out hungry and pissed off after getting beat up by Oregon and put out a dominant performance, guys. With that, let's answer a few questions. Dakota asks, how is ASU's O-line versus our D-line? Well, Dakota, let's go ahead and dive into that a little bit. I broke it down, but I will pull it up. I think the number one thing we can look at for ASU's O-line versus our D-line is how the offensive line and defensive lines do against with sacks. For me, that's the number one thing I'll look at to figure that out. So let's take a look. So, boom. Sorry, I'm just going to pull up the data and then we'll break it all down. All right. So, first thing let's look at is sack percentage. So, let me just make sure I got the right one. All right. So, how many sacks is your offense allowing? Arizona State. They're over the past 3 games, they're actually really damn good, guys. So over the past 3 games, Arizona State is only allowing 3.91% of their passing plays to end in sacks, which is up there at the upper echelon of college football. That isn't like the top 30, top 35 sort of deal. So this is not going to be a pushover offensive line. Seriously, it will not be, guys. And then the other thing is, let me find that page. Okay, let me pull it up. So Utah's offensive line over the past 3 games is allowing. Oh, Utah's actually looking really good over the past 3 games too. So only 3.85% of their plays. Oh, look at this. Check this out. I'm going to show this on the screen because it's pretty fun. Let's see if I can get it on the screen. This is pretty peculiar. All right. Check this out, guys. Look at this. So these are the past 3 games, how the teams do at QB sack percentage. So how many sacks, what percentage of your pass plays turn into sacks? And over the last 3 games, Utah and Arizona State are basically the exact same. They're right there back to back. So that's pretty cool. And now let's look at their D lines, guys. That'll be an interesting one. Utah had a tough game last game when it comes to D line. Let's see how they're doing over the past 3. So over the past 3 games, we're at 7.62% of our defensive plays or of the opposing passing plays turn into sacks. Let's see Arizona State. Arizona State is actually doing even worse at 5.63%. So I'd say when it comes to our O-line versus their D-line, I feel pretty good there. I would also say their O-line's looking pretty good as well. They seem to be getting the ball out quickly and not allowing a lot of sacks. So I hope that answers the question for you there, Dakota. And any other questions you guys have, feel free to drop in the chat. I don't mind spending a little time on it. You know, we got a heck of a few games left, guys. We got Washington, Arizona State, Colorado. It's going to be a wild ride here in our last season in the Pac-12. I think it'll be a ton of fun, but it'll definitely not be an easy go. If you guys haven't already looked at I made a video yesterday of our Big 12 schedule and breaking that down. Man, you guys should be excited. We look really good heading into next year. Seriously, I don't think there's a game. If you take our team this year, which this offense has not been great, right? If you take this team this year, which we have not had a good offense, it has been rough to say the least. And you just look at our team this year, from what I looked at, according to the ESPN FPI, there's probably not one game that we're either a push or favored in. That means we should expect really big things next year, guys. We are looking like we could really dominate the Big 12 our first year out there. That'd be so awesome. So much fun. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I am going to end this now. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, comment down below if you have any questions after the fact. Please subscribe to the channel and share the video with a friend. I am out of here. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. And go Utes.